How you doing? I'm Jimmy Sausage Finger. And this is oh. You don't like that?
I don't. Is that real meat?
Yeah.
You've been having real meat in your pocket?
I've been having it all day in my pocket.
That's disgusting. Get it out of here.
But I'm Jimmy Sausage Finger.
I'm Jonathan Lopez.
First quarter, Ben Roethlisberger.
I'm Shrek. Don't get out me swamp.
Anyways, this is Zloch talk. And Jimmy Sausage Finger says, let's go.
Can you get rid of that?
So we're just going to start with a recap
Can I use that
here?
for the mouse?
Yeah, we starting with the recap.
Okay, so let's go over Colts and Bills.
Colts and Bills. Fantastic. Go ahead. You start.
That was my favorite game. I think just because I love Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs is an excellent player. Phillip Rivers is Phillip Rivers.
He couldn't pull out with this one
doing
either.
his darndest, as he put it. His dangdest. He heckin' loved being out there. You know, that's just something Phillip Rivers says. If you ever listen to him. But Josh Allen, my God. My God.
They came close to losing it though. The Colts had that second breath right towards the end of the game.
Did you know that he beat Joe Montana by having 324 yards passing and 50 rushing yards, with completing 70% of his passes? Last person to do that was Joe Montana, and he completed 68.5%.
Wow.
Not too shabby.
So
Not too
Josh
shabby.
Allen had a career performance, especially they haven't won since what, like the 90s or something ridiculous, or 2005.
That was a long time ago.
They haven't won it forever, and Josh Allen just came out and he had a game. He had a game.
Well, I got to tell you, not that Phillip Rivers didn't have an opportunity. He had an opportunity because there was 2 minutes left, and all he had to do was go down the field. All he had to do was tie, or kick a field goal, or get a touchdown. And even the referees, we'll give you another shot because of that fumble. Remember the fumble?
Yeah.
Which was really a fumble. They said
It was really a fumble. They did kind of give a Colts a breath of to catch up. Sorry, I'm very distracted by your sausage.
So what I was getting at...
I can't believe you've been carrying meat in your pocket.
Well, what else am I supposed to do?
Weirdo.
I'm Jimmy Sausage Finger.
That's a little bit weird.
I walk around all day with Sausage Finger. But anyways, what I was saying was, even the ref...
This is the worst thing you've ever done.
What? I won't touch you.
He was making dinner. He did that on accident and started bugging Mom with it. And he's like, "That's it. That's the one."
No, I was talking about yesterday.
Yeah, how long were you thinking about this?
Since yesterday afternoon. I actually went out and bought some sausage. I was going to do it on my hand, but I figured you'd be really freaked out by that.
I'm not freaked out. I'm just weirded out that you kept raw meat in your pocket for a stupid joke for a podcast nobody watches.
That's all right, but it's still one day somebody will. And it just freaks you out because it's raw meat. And you're a vegetarian.
A vegetarian. But no, the rest totally did keep that game competitive towards the end. I kind of wanted to see the Colts pull it off with their gift, but they just couldn't do it.
The ref was like, you got 7 kids, you want to help feed your kids. Here's another gift. Go ahead, try again.
Poor Phillip Rivers, though. He's never been to a Super Bowl. He had a really long, fruitful career, but he just couldn't make it happen.
This is either A, the end of his career, or B, the end of his career in Indianapolis. I think he will never play on the Colts.
Well, I think he's retiring. I think that's official.
I know, what's his name retiring? Fitzgerald. No, Fitzgerald. He announced that he wasn't going to play anymore.
Really?
Yeah. He had enough. I like Fitzgerald.
I think one of their offensive line coaches gave it up before he did.
Yeah.
That he was retired. Somebody did. Somebody in the Cardinals organization spoiled it before Larry Fitzgerald could make a formal announcement.
They should have just let Larry do it.
How about you, David? Any comments on the Buffalo Bills?
I mean, the game was pretty interesting. I watched the whole game, but the Bills were clearly better in this game. The Colts defense did show up, though, and try to stop Diggs, but that didn't stop the Bills.
They did really good during the whole football game. They came back. They were able to fight back. So, they did a good job. It's not as if they got their ass kicked, but they just had to end. The Bills' defense was too much for them. They couldn't do anything. So.
Any other comments?
Nope.
All right, David, how about you introduce the next one?
Ravens-Titans game. That game was pretty interesting. What?
Rams. Seahawks.
Oh, we're gonna cut this out.
No.
No.
Oh, we'll keep going.
No,
Rams,
it's funny
Seahawks.
when you mess up.
It's funny when we all mess up. Like, that's what Jimmy
Especially
Sausage
funny
Finger
when
says.
you mess up.
Okay, Rams-Seahawks game. That game was pretty good. I mean, Jared Goff coming back in even with a broken finger and beating the Seahawks that game. That was phenomenal. Then Aaron Donald went out with an injury. I don't know. It hasn't been confirmed what it was yet. And they still pulled off the win.
And possibly Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
And Cooper Kupp.
might be out, which
And Cooper Kupp.
I find it disappointing considering that we play them next week. I'd rather beat a fully healthy Rams team instead of here.
Then a Goff with a broken thumb and
no Aaron Donald.
Donald with broken ribs.
Well, he
So
doesn't have
it's
broken
Jalen
ribs.
Ramsey versus the Packers.
He doesn't have broken ribs. It's been confirmed they're not broken. They did an X-ray on him, but there's something wrong with his ribs. They didn't say what. And I don't know what's wrong with Cooper Kupp because he went out too. So
I think it was like a muscle strain or something, or a
It's
rib
just
strain.
speculations that Cooper Kupp might be out. So to our large fan base out there, don't take my words verbatim.
yeah, don't panic.
Bobby Wagner, too, got out that game, too, with an injury. Didn't see what it was. But anyways, yeah, the Rams pulling off that win, that was amazing. Packers versus them next week. I think it's going to be interesting.
You really think it's going to be interesting?
Yes, it will be.
Honestly, I thought that was the most disappointing game of Wildcard weekend.
By far.
Russell Wilson is better than that.
Well, maybe not by far.
One.
But, well, actually, if you look at Russell Wilson's postseason stats, they're pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
Like he shows up like regular season. Don't get me wrong. I'm not throwing dirt on his name, but I don't think he deserves to be put up there with Brady and Rodgers and Mahomes and Watson when it comes to postseason. He just doesn't have the numbers.
Well, that wasn't the most disappointing game. The most disappointing game was the Bears and the Saints.
I don't even count that as a game.
That was ridiculous.
That's why I said.
Well, it was on Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
So.
We're not on this yet.
But yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later. You think the Seahawks will put it together a little bit more next year?
A little bit.
Seemed like they had a lot of working parts. DK Metcalf seemed to be a very prominent figure this year.
DK Metcalf definitely needs to work on his maturity and how he handles the game. He did get a little upset about not getting targeted, and he pressed Wilson about that, and that's what led to one of Wilson's interceptions as well, because he was trying to get out to DK Metcalf, and he was just completely covered. I don't know why he did that other than DK Metcalf was pretty much
And he was
begging
guarded
him
by
for the
Jalen
ball.
Ramsey, too.
So
What was our other wide receiver?
Tyler
Lockett.
Lockett.
Lockett, that's who it is.
Lockett had a phenomenal catch.
Lock it like I talk it.
And then they got Chris Carson too.
Kill a sticker off for you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Start calling you David.
so, any other comments about the Rams in Seattle?
No.
I have. That was really impressive. The Rams were able to pull that off, as depleted
Yeah.
as they were.
Against the Seahawks.
Yeah, I don't see the Rams going much further though in the postseason if they can't stay healthy. If they don't have, because
Well, they're playing
the
the Packers.
Rams,
Well,
the Rams are
hypothetically-
a great defense, arguably one of the better defenses in, I guess, the
The league.
playoffs right now or
Yeah.
in the league in general. So I think a healthy Rams would put up a fight against the Packers next week.
I think they're gonna make it an easy job though, because the healthy Rams almost lost to the Jets. If you remember.
Good news, too.
I mean,
We don't have Tom Montgomery, so we don't have to
the
worry about
Packers
a fumble.
also got their ass wiped by the Bucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then the
So-
Bears beat them by 2 points.
So, I mean, all teams just have one of those games.
Any given Sunday.
Yep.
Or Saturday in the case of the playoffs.
Or Tuesday.
Or Wednesday.
There was only like one Tuesday night game.
No, there are some Tuesday night footballs.
How many?
This is actually the only season that has had a game on every day of the week.
Oh yeah, I think I heard about that. That's kind of crazy.
That is crazy. What do you think about that?
It's like cool.
All right, we ready to move along?
Yeah, let's go move along. Get along game.
All right, for our last Saturday game, we got the Buccaneers and the football team. We'll start with you.
I'd like to start this one off. I'm sorry. I really just wanted to believe that the Washington football team could at least get past the first round, and I really didn't want to see Tom Brady move forward with the job that he's done with the team that he's in. Because I definitely think the Buccaneers should have a way better record than they do now, considering all the offensive pieces they have, all the defensive pieces they have. They're just an overall great team, 11-5, and they had some pretty bad losses, like they lost to the Bears.
Yeah.
That's like they. I don't know, man. They didn't look too hot at the start of the season. They had some flashes of greatness, but if you look at their roster, they should be doing way better than they are. If you think Washington just signed Heineke for like a game,
and Heineke put up a good fight.
And that was his first game, right?
Yeah, playoff, leading a team.
His stats were close to Brady's.
Like I don't understand how the Bucs even let them have 23 points. Considering the team that they have, I just really like Washington. They had momentum, and they also exposed the Steelers for being the worst 11-0 team of all time.
Washington definitely gave it their all this playoff game, but they still couldn't pull through with it. Heineke showed off, too, and he used his, whole body for the team, too. With that
diving touchdown was insane.
That was sick.
He literally let his body free and just...
Alex Smith couldn't do that without his leg exploding.
Right?
I think Heineke is a great backup quarterback. I don't see a future, as in being a franchise quarterback for...
He kept up with Brady, though. Did you see the stats?
I mean...
Brady should be a backup quarterback then, too. He was only off by 80 yards compared to what Brady got.
It's one game.
So...
It's one game.
But yeah, congrats to the Washington football team. They put up a much bigger fight than I thought they would against the Buccaneers. I did not think they would keep it within one possession.
I really wanted the Washington team to win, but I knew they wouldn't. That's why I picked them.
And when it came to that last fourth down, what was it, 4th and 20 something? I was ooh.
I just wanted to believe last week. That's why I took the bet. Because if they're going to lose, I'm going to lose too.
For those of you who didn't watch last week, there was a bet.
There is a lot of you who did not watch last week.
Well, we know Keith watched last week.
Yeah. So, last week, these two made a mousetrap bet with us that if the Washington football team won, that we would have to stick our fingers in a mousetrap. Or if the Buccaneers won, that they would stick their fingers in a mousetrap. That's you, yeah. That is you.
That's me.
So we all know how that went. So later on we'll be dropping a video of both of them sticking their fingers in a mousetrap because the Buccaneers won and the football team lost. Stay tuned for that, though. That's going to be...
I don't know what's going on.
That's going to be a nice, short, cute little episode. So we're just doing things as we go.
David can throw it on his TikTok for promotional purposes.
Oh, David's always throwing it. Any other comments on the football team and the Buccaneers?
No, my favorite game of Sunday, though. Let's go to the Ravens and Titans.
Can I backtrack for just 1 second?
No.
Yeah, what?
Thoughts on Alex Smith? Do you think he's going to retire?
Yes, he needs to. He's too old. He had his comeback story.
I agree.
Okay.
He proved that he could do it. He got him to the playoffs.
Yeah, because he's going to break his leg again if he keeps playing. Because the guys are tackling him at his legs, and that one's going to freaking snap. It's going to...
No, but if you look at, every single time he's been sacked after his leg injury, it's been, above the chest. They're scared to go for his legs.
Yeah, but when they go for the legs, if you grab his leg, it's going to crack.
If you think about it, who's really trying to hurt Alex Smith to take out the football team?
Well, nobody's trying to, but it's football.
I know, but, it'd be different if Alex Smith was Aaron Rodgers and they were in the same situation. People are going to try and take out Rodgers like that.
Yep.
Anthony Barr.
So! Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah.
Bless you.
Anthony Barr! What?
Okay. Are we good to go now?
Yeah, we can move on to Sunday.
Ravens. Lamar Jackson. You looked phenomenal. I loved that, 48-yard touchdown run?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that one was crazy.
Postseason QB run.
Who had the first? Do you know?
I don't remember. Somebody, I think it was Troy Aikman said it. I don't know who was calling it.
Who had what? The first one what?
The first, longest postseason QB touchdown.
Oh, okay. They didn't say anything. Did it say something on there?
Lamar Jackson was having a hard time getting started. I definitely thought Tennessee was going to take it from the opening quarter, but looks could be deceiving. Once Lamar Jackson was able to start running vertically instead of horizontally, that's when the game really started to open up for them. Lamar Jackson just looked... This is MVP-esque of what he did last year. This is... That touchdown run was arguably one of the... is probably going to be the play of the postseason this year. I think, unless he does it again at a longer run. I mean, that was just a great game. Their defense looked incredible. Their defense held Derrick Henry to 40 yards.
Oh, wow.
Last time Derrick Henry was held to 40 yards was the 2019 season, week 6 or something ridiculous. So they showed up. I mean, they held a 2,000-yard rusher to 40 yards. That's
pretty impressive.
It is impressive, and there's so much raw talent in this wild card weekend, or just in the playoffs in general. I mean, we haven't even seen anything from the Chiefs or the Packers yet.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Two very talented QBs. So this might be one of the greatest postseasons we've ever had, with just the amount of raw talent involved.
I think so too. However, though, what's his name? Lamar Jackson was so excited at the end when he was doing his interview. Did you see the interview after he won?
No.
He couldn't formulate a sentence. It was so funny.
He finally got his first
I know, but it's funny.
win.
He's like,
he ended every narrative though.
he's like, I win. I did a good job, and I was doing good. And it was so funny because it's like he was a caveman. It's like he couldn't speak. It was funny. He was so excited. He ran out of the field. Then he had to run back in.
I mean, this was a big game for him.
Oh, it was huge.
Huge. First,
He was so pumped.
Didn't the Titans snuff him out last year?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's probably why he wants to pay back revenge game.
Yeah. It was definitely a revenge game. I can't believe they snuffed the 2,000-yard rusher into 40 yards. That's insane.
Yep.
That was the 5th meeting between the Titans and Ravens in the playoffs, all time, and the road team has won every single matchup. So there's an interesting stat line for you.
Lamar Jackson had more yards on one play than Derrick Henry did all game.
That is kind of crazy, too. I feel like the Titans deserved it more this year, but, I mean...
Yeah, I really
Lamar hasn't showed up until pro season.
Pro-season?
Not pro season, postseason.
He started showing up towards the end of the season. They started figuring out what they were doing as a team. And, like Marquise Hollywood Brown, he was so hot last year and then got really cold, and then he heated up again, and then he got cold, and then hot again, and then lukewarm. I don't know, he's a very confusing player to roster in fantasy, at least. So, are you putting your sausage away?
I got to protect my sausage.
Can you hand it to me?
Give me a joke.
Can I see it?
No.
What?
No, because you're going to say me Dan just did.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, sure. I'm staying in my pocket now. My sausage is going to stay in my pocket. No one can touch it.
Yeah, but I was really hoping for a Titans win, but I mean, the Ravens can have it. Lamar Jackson did kind of get snubbed last year, so...
He did.
And he was having he got MVP last season, right?
Yeah, but they shut Lamar Jackson down last year, if I remember correctly. He couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, they got...
I don't want to say shit.
Listen,
this is a family show. Don't say shit.
We can say whatever we want. We're not monetized.
No, we're not. We got to make money.
Right, so we'll have sponsorships, whatever. All right, any other comments, Titans, Ravens?
No.
No. He's getting a text from his fiance again. Give him a second.
No, no.
Hey, all right. It's okay. Tell Alyssa we said hi. Shout out to Alyssa.
Oh, A.J. Brown looked phenomenal in the first half, I'd like to say. A.J. Brown looked like a stud.
I believe he had the most touchdowns by a Titans player in a season, ever, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah, he flowered and blossomed and bloomed into a beautiful wide receiver one.
He is
pretty.
beautiful.
He is
Fun
beautiful.
fact, did you know that Randy Moss played for the Titans for 1 year?
No.
He did.
What do you do there?
Played
What do you play?
football.
Oh, not the banjo?
Yeah.
And that was Did You Know Facts with David.
Pretty good. All right. Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain.
I said, are you ready, kids?
You messed it up.
How did you mess that up that bad?
All right, retake.
I can't hear you.
I know, I fucking forgot.
I'm not redoing that.
No,
We're
damn it.
keeping that.
All right, anyways.
Oh.
The Bears played about as good as my dad introduced.
The Bears got their butts whooped, man.
Yeah, their gameplay was as good as your introduction.
I know.
Whoa, we kicked it so high.
Yeah, well, let's start out with what the score was for the longest time in the game. The Bears only scored 3 points, and at the end they got a touchdown.
A pity touchdown.
Touchdown.
A pity Jimmy touchdown.
And then the Saints got 21 points. But the most funny part about this
They
whole
almost
thing,
had 28. They got stopped
I
at
know
the
they got
1 yard
stopped.
line.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But the most funny part, they were on Nickelodeon, and they were explaining every play to like they're talking to little kids.
Well, because they
Well,
were.
that's because it's a child's network. I think it was a step in the right direction. I think it was well executed for their first time doing it, but they could have done a lot better.
Well, maybe if they had a better team playing, and maybe that would have
Right, maybe if they had a better scoring team, they could have done more special
And maybe
effects.
better announcers or like studied the players.
And
There's one guy who was
preemptively slime cannoning. Is that a word, slime cannoning?
It is now.
I didn't get to see a slime cannon go off. I'm kind of disappointed.
Oh, you didn't watch it on there?
We
kind
were
of
watching for
we
a
were
while.
flipping channels, but like the commentary was just too
Terrible.
Yeah, it was boring.
Well, I wouldn't say it was terrible. So the way it was being advertised was it was going to be advertised as like a game full of like special effects and cartoon
SpongeBob being
characters.
the announcer.
And like SpongeBob being there, and there really wasn't a whole lot of characters there. And what I feel like they failed to like broadcast was that it was going to be an over-explained version of the game. So I feel like from the advertisements, it just looked like football with cartoons over it, and like it would be fun in that aspect. But what in reality was a football broadcast for kids, where it was kind of explaining the gameplay. And I feel like if they advertised it like that off the get-go, like it would have. I know it's been really well received, but it would have been even more well received without people like us complaining about it.
Right.
Because that's my gripe with it, is I'm glad that they did that. I'm happy they're teaching kids how football works. But on the same hand, the way they advertised it was not the way it was presented. I wasn't expecting to have an over, like, explained version of the game where, like, I understand it was for kids. I'm not mad that it was for kids. But I just wish that they advertised it better. Like, it was more of, like, a football for beginners type of thing instead of a football with special effects type of event.
If anybody should be mad here, it's David.
Right.
Because he's like 4.
You know what? You know what I'm mad about? That they let the F word get through on Nickelodeon. They didn't bleep it out.
Do you know what I'm mad about?
Well,
for
they'd have to
Nickelodeon?
catch that in real time. Do you know
You
how
know
hard
what I'm
that
mad
is?
at Nickelodeon?
I would
What?
like to say congratulations to the greatest quarterback
Oh,
of all
man.
time for winning the prestigious award and the only one to win this award, the Nickelodeon Most Valuable Player, the MVP, Mitchell Trubisky. The only player to ever win the MVP.
No other player has won that award.
Do you know
He
who
really
hasn't
won the
won
Nickelodeon
that?
one, huh? Who?
Aaron Rodgers,
Tom
Brett
Brady.
Favre, Tom Brady,
Peyton Manning.
Bill Belichick.
How'd Mitch Trubisky win that if they had...
Kids voted on it. Kids voted Mitch Trubisky. This is why they have a voting age.
Actually, do you know why?
No.
Because Barstool Sports seen the vote and they broadcasted very widely to just keep hammering the votes for Mitchell Trubisky, so he can lose the game, come out, get slimed, and accept an award for playing like shit.
So he got slimed?
No, they
Sean Payton got
Yeah,
slimed.
Sean Payton.
for
Oh, he did
winning.
get slimed.
Yeah.
Well, eventually, because they were trying to get the Bears, and they're like, dude, fuck you, leave us alone. That was embarrassing. Don't talk to me. I don't want your fucking MVP. So that's pretty much why Sean Payton got it. And Sean Payton said, well, I'm open to the idea, I guess. Kind of check you guys.
He
gonna
ruined
give
his
me.
Jordans,
This is
though.
bullshit, but okay.
He's got money. He can buy new ones.
They were nice Jordans, though.
Well, he can buy another nice pair of Jordans. He's got money. He just won. He just got slimed. How awesome is that? How many coaches can say they got slimed?
I was interested with Cardi B and Barack Obama being at that game. That was pretty interesting.
They were really good.
That was terrible too.
They did great.
And the way sticker off with me. Team sticker.
Oh, God! Like she couldn't even do that. Oh, God! I can't even do it. But like, at least I'm not on TV pretending I can.
Yeah, those impressions were very embarrassing, and I'm kindly asking you guys not to do that again. I know
and
I'm
that
just
kid
a
trying to
small
pronounce Mitch
voice among
Trubisky's
many,
name.
but please, that was hard to listen to. And never mind.
Did you watch the whole thing on Nickelodeon?
Yep.
Wow.
I wanted to see how well they could pull it off.
Like I said, it was impressive.
Didn't you like the lines?
Could have been better. What?
Did you like how the
Oh
lines
yeah,
kept
did you
moving?
like the lines how they kept moving?
Yeah. I love the preemptive touchdown celebrations that they did. It was like 3 in a row, and if those were real slime cannons, they would have been firing blanks by like the second quarter.
I really like the fighting graphic they used with SpongeBob and Patrick.
You know what I didn't like about it was the highlight reel was like some... Like, you ever go to a football game and you see, like, the beer cans racing and they're like, oh, what brand's gonna win?
Oh, shit.
It was animated the same way. Pretty much as those beer races. You're not even listening to me.
I'm listening.
No, you're
Yeah,
not.
we are.
David's trying to get my hand in the trap. I'll snap your deal.
Goodbye to your nipple.
I'll get your nipple while you're sleeping.
David said goodbye to both. David said goodbye to both of his nipples a long time ago.
Right? David, why don't you have any nipples?
We're not going to talk about this right now.
Why aren't we talking about this right now?
I have enough to go around for the whole room.
He does.
I know.
He's
I
got
don't
like
know why I've
17.
never asked to borrow a set.
I always do. You say no. They're yours.
Oh, yeah. All right,
Next.
Browns and Steelers.
Another...
What a
way.
mess! So
Man,
the
man.
Browns ended up snapping a 17 losing streak at Heinz Field for them. So that was
That is. But,
incredible. I'm so happy for Cleveland.
but they almost,
Congratulations, Browns fan. Kick your feet up.
they almost turned into the Falcons, though.
Enjoy the highlight reels of the next 2-3 days. Enjoy the narrative. Kick your feet up because you probably feel like a god right now, Baker. You finally lived up to your commercials, as Skip Bayless said best. No, I don't really like Skip Bayless. I mean, he's a Cowboys fan. That's embarrassing.
He hates the Packers.
So the Steelers joined the 2009 Cardinals as the only team in NFL history to allow 45 points in 2 straight playoff games.
Wow.
So
Did
the last playoff game the Steelers had, they also let their opponents score more than 45 points.
Did you know that was also the most points ever put up in a first quarter postseason game?
Yeah,
How
that
many
was
points was that in the first
28.
quarter?
28.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
Which
it was pretty
brings
high.
They
me to my
almost
next
tacked
point.
on another 7. Too.
Yeah, I know. I seen that.
How do you like almost blow a 28-point lead? Were they studying the Falcons or what was going on?
I don't know. It's hard with Cleveland because you know it's Cleveland and you can never be comfortable. Like, I still wasn't fully confident in the fact that they were going to win even after the first quarter.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, the Steelers do have a lot of raw talent. So,
Yeah, but the look on the Steelers' face that first quarter, all the players are like, "What the hell happened to us?"
if this is Big Ben's last year, I feel so bad for him. That is not a way he needs
He was
to go
crying
out.
after the game,
He's a
too.
legend. So is Juju Smith.
Yeah.
Danster.
He was Corvetting back
TikTok
home.
Smith Schuster.
Yep. TikToks. Zloch.
That was funny.
So the last time the Browns won a road game in Pittsburgh was 2003. Baker Mayfield was
Wow.
only 8 years old.
Well,
And
then
they've
he's gonna
played
play.
each other every year, so that's kind of like they're every year. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, because the Big Ben won more games than something. What do you?
Yeah,
say?
won more games in Cleveland than any quarterback, even though he doesn't play for Cleveland.
Right. Exactly.
The Browns have won a playoff game for the first time since 1994,
Nice.
so that's been almost 30 years. So there's a lot going on for Cleveland right now. I am so excited that they're moving on to the next round. Do you see next week being as high scoring?
No.
Oh, aren't they taking on the Chiefs?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tough game. it's going to be a very, very tough game. But they have the talent pool to pull it off. They just need to be on their A game 100%, like no falter. They can't hesitate.
Right.
This is, I mean,
They're in the big boy league
They
now.
won the Browns Super Bowl, which is win a playoff game.
Yeah.
So I think you can enjoy that victory, even if it does end here. That's still a hell of a feat. So I don't know. I think that I think it's going to be a close game with Kansas City, like it always is. But Kansas City's going to come out on top.
If the first quarter Browns play
we'll
the
talk
first quarter
analysis
Browns
later.
the whole time, I feel like they could keep it close.
I don't think you're ever going to see a performance like the first quarter Browns again.
No, you won't see that again. That was a fluke.
They capitalized on a lot of the Steelers' mistakes.
Yeah, well, that's how Big Ben threw 2 interceptions right in the first half.
Well, missed snaps.
There was a
and-
high snap that
Right.
they took off the rip, and then the 2 interceptions.
Yeah, it was just a big. That was the sloppiest quarter of football I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
like the guy who was hiking the ball must have thought he was Shaquille O'Neal or something like that. Like way over his head.
Yeah, that was beyond sloppy. Like that was like the Steelers' performance that first quarter was the worst performance I think I've seen by a football team.
Yeah,
in
they
a
should
long
be
time.
they should be embarrassed by that whole thing.
Like, how are you losing 28-0 before the first quarter's even over?
I mean, they're
Before
even worse than the Bears.
It was like within like 3 or 4 or 5 to 4 minutes of the quarter ending too. They were up 28. That's when the Steelers finally pieced together a tiny bit of momentum.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the Browns coach wasn't there.
Yeah. This is proof that you don't need to practice.
Right? They weren't
So,
practicing all week.
All you
Oh, there you
football
go.
coaches out there can eat it. You don't have to practice. Just look at me. I have the body of an Olympian.
Olympian.
Never practiced a day in my life.
Any other comments?
Never seen me throw an interception on an NFL football team.
I've never lost an NFL game.
I've never lost an NFL game.
Keith, catch.
Same. I've never lost an
You
NFL
didn't
game.
catch it. All right, anyways.
I got a boo-boo.
So does that wrap up this episode, or what? Are we
I
doing?
guess so.
All
Next.
right.
Thanks for watching.
No one asked.
You're watching Zloch Talk.